problems. I'm by myself, you're not around. I tried to open up, it wasn't good enough. Put in my all and got nothing back. Now I'm stuck in the rain, dealing with all this pain. Why you gotta do me like that? Don't say you love me, then go and leave me. It can't get ugly, trust and believe me. Say it to myself, looks so deceiving. Trying to fight back this far from easy. I've seen your hands. Delilah, don't you know I've seen your hands. Delilah, don't you know my heart turned cold, lost control. Looking at this beautiful distraction. Fell in love with a fatal attraction. I really let my guard down, now relaxing. Why did I open up? She taking way too much. Put in my all and got nothing back. I'm feeling so ashamed, I fell into your game. Why you gotta do me like that? Don't say you love me, then go and leave me. It can't get ugly, trust and believe me. Say it to myself, looks so deceiving. Trying to fight back this far from easy. I've seen your hands. Delilah, don't you know I've seen your hands. Delilah, don't you know gave you all of me, had me so deceived. You chose to leave my life, so I'm on my own in the cycle. I can't believe. Don't say you love me, then go and leave me. It can't get ugly, trust and believe me. Say it to myself, looks so deceiving. Trying to fight back, just far from easy. I've seen your hands. Delilah, don't you know I've seen your hands. Delilah, don't you know don't you know I've seen your hands. Delilah, don't you know
Good evening, good evening, good evening, people. Y'all know who it is. Y'all know the voice. Y'all know the sound. James Bubba Williams is in the building. Good evening, everybody. Welcome again to another episode of Like It or Not here on the Intimate Dixon Show, y'all. Good evening, everybody. Make sure you grab your tea, your coffee, your alcohol, whatever it is you need to get your evening going, man. Good evening, everybody. Come on in. Welcome, welcome.
You keep me company. Give me something to do when I get lonely. I got something for you when we get home. If you let me put it down. When I hit the town, you should ride on me. Keep your minds on me. On try, baby, I think you should side with me. Stay solid one time if you lie with me. Just promise you never lie to me. Keep the moves on tuck. I know it's all love. Everything good. Keep the vibes on crush. I know it's all good. Know it's all love. Know it's all love. I've been feeling like I'm feeling like a man lately. Can't nobody do it like I can daily. Baddest in the
Shout out to everybody tuning in. Betty Veronica, good evening. Kay, how do you say? Andy from Ohio, welcome. CO, welcome, welcome. Lunch break, hot take, what's going on? Lily, Neon Deb, welcome. Spin, Cycle Dragon, J-Roll 49, are we live? Hell yeah, we live. J-Roll, what's going on? Welcome to you. J.N. Lee, 1981, welcome.
for you when we get home. If you let me put it down. When I come in town, you should ride on me. Keep your
Shout out
minds
Nat
on me.
A.
On try, baby, I think you should side with me.
Hi, y'all. Bluebird on my shoulder. Welcome. Kareem Ransom. Welcome, y'all.
Keep the moves on tuck. I know it's all love. Everything good. Keep the vibes on crush. I know it's all good. Know it's all love.
Rosalba, welcome. Billy, I'm doing pretty good. I can't complain for an old man. You know how it goes. Rachel, welcome, welcome, welcome. Shout out to the family that's tuning in. Hey, mama. Hey, daddy. Hey, Sarah. Shout out to my sister, man. Oh my gosh, last week I feel so bad because I forgot to tell my sister happy birthday on the show last week. So happy birthday, Kim. She's celebrating all month long, of course. She only got a couple of days left. But happy birthday again, Kimberly.
I put that on God when it gets hard. I stay on my job like no days off, so you can go home with it.
Killer Cuts, what's going on, Doug? Good evening.
Cause I've been working all day. Can I catch a break? Give a pretty brown girl her space. You can keep your bitter. I'ma make a better way. Hey, hey. Already got
Happy early birthday to you, Rachel.
Give a pretty brown girl her space.
LD, good evening to you.
I'ma make a better way. Hey, hey. Catch a break. Better way. Oh,
Man, y'all.
I'm and Dad's only daughter. Do I make you proud? Writing my life in lyrics. Do you like the sound? Seeking approval.
Don't forget, y'all, this evening, don't forget, immediately after the show, patron party tonight. Patron party's going down tonight. Immediately following the show, 9:30 to 12. So make sure that y'all pull up, man. We are celebrating Missy Misdemeanor Elliott, so it's Missy night tonight. One of my favorite artists, and when I tell you I can't wait, I cannot wait. Industrial Arts, what's going on, brother? Good to see you.
I've been working all day. Can I catch a break? Give a pretty brown girl her space. You can keep your bitter. I'ma make a better way.
Press the wrong button.
Give a pretty brown girl her space. You can keep your bitter. I'ma make a better way. Hey, hey. Already got the world on me. Give a pretty brown girl her space. You can keep your bitter.
Shout out LD, we appreciate you.
Hey, catch a break. Better way. Oh.
Shout out Tyler Hagner, what's up, little brother? Glad to see you. Here's a throwback just for y'all. I thought about it, I'm like, man, I ain't heard this song in a long time.
I could really use a change of scenery. Yeah. Everybody smoking all the greenery. Yeah. Close the matches they were handed down to me.
This cute
But I'm
cat,
still
welcome.
fly. I'm still fly, I know. I'm still fly. I'm still fly. Let's go. It could all be worse. I could be a hater like you.
Industrial Arts, yes it did. I just didn't have a chance to sit down and watch it. My God, working and working. That's so
From the
loud.
inside out. So right now, say it with your chest now. Say it with your chest now. I'm young, I'm free. Can't nobody take me here and now. It's my time to run it out. It's my time. It's my time to ride it. I'm young, I'm free. Can't nobody take me here and now. It's my time to run it out. It's my time. It's my time. It's my time to ride it out.
Shelby H, happy Friday to you as well. Welcome.
Cheers to all the haters, cause you proved to me that rising to the top was my destiny. And you can see whatever from behind me, but I'm still fly, I know. I'm still fly, let's go. It could all be worse, I could be a hater like you. It could all be worse. Clothes to make the man, but that poison's gonna kill you. From the inside out, it's time to say it with your chest now. Say it with your chest now. I'm young, I'm free. Can't nobody take me here.
Mary C, the Purple Dragon, welcome.
It's my time to run it out. It's my time. It's my time to ride it. I'm young, I'm free. Can't nobody take me here and now. It's my time to bus, say yeah. Yeah. If you're on a train, say yeah. Yeah. If you gotta walk, say yeah. Yeah. Everybody's going somewhere. Yeah. Young or old, I really don't care. Yeah. Life has never really been fair. Yeah. So put your fist up in the air. Yeah. Say yeah. I'm young, I'm free. Can't nobody take me here and now. It's my time to run it out. It's my time. It's my time.
Hello, Sydney Bubba. What's going on, Sydney?
I'm young, I'm free. Can't nobody take me here and now. It's my time to run it out. It's my time. It's my time. It's my time to run it out. It's your time. Oh.
Hey man, yeah, it's the summertime, right?
What's she doing? Oh
Let's
man,
get it like that,
got
man.
this back before I play the real thing.
Like it or not, it's going. Like it or not, it's going. Yeah. Like it or not, it's going. It's going. It's going. It's going. It's going. Like it or not, it's going. Like it or not, it's going. Like it or not, it's going. It's going. It's going. It's going.
It
It's
makes me
going.
feel
Rebecca Azores
like I'm on the island
Got a
somewhere.
funny story to tell. Talking politics, culture, a real life ish. I live in life in the ATL. Benjamin, yeah, that's my man. She's always coming up with the master plan. Politics, dreaming, trying to find the meaning of life. While the feds keeps us in stride.
I am your DJ, DJ exclusive. Y'all know who I am. I stay dropping them jams.
Good hope, dad jokes, culture, ish, politics. What's here right now is the culmination of all of this. I started out with the mic in my hand and I ended up with the plethora of fans. I love bringing joy to the people. It makes me feel great, makes me feel regal. I do what I do for you. Tuesday to Thursday, you know how we do. Let's go. Like it or not, it's going down. Like it or not, it's going down. Like it or not, it's going, it's going, it's going, it's going, it's going down.
Like it or not, it's going. Like it or not, it's going. Like it or not, it's going. It's going. Hey man, let's start this damn show.
That's it, but soon. All right, y'all. Don't forget Rebecca Azores is not in the building tonight, so we still do have brother from another mother, Benjamin Dixon, of course, is in the building. And before we jump into it and everything goes down, yesterday I read an article about the dangers of drinking too much. It scared the hell out of me. So today I've decided to never read it again. Simple as that. Like it or not, it's about to go down, y'all. Welcome again, Friday evening. Don't forget this evening patron party is going down. Missy Elliott, let's go.
Like it or not, y'all. 2023. Y'all know what time it is.
It's time for Like It or Not. With Rebecca Azores. Let's start this damn show. Yes, it's time for Like It or Not. With Rebecca Azores. Let's start this damn show. Like It or Not. Rebecca Azores in the house. You know she got a funny story to tell. Talking politics, culture, a real life ish. I live in life in the ATL. Benjamin, yeah, that's my man. He's always coming up with the master plan. Politics scheming, not trying to find the meaning of life. While the feds keeps us in strife. I'm your DJ. I really don't need no introduction right now, but you know what? I stay dropping them jams. Y'all know who I am. Good hope, dad jokes, culture-ish, politics. What you're hearing right now was the culmination of all of this. I started out with the mic in my hand, and I graduated to a plethora of fans. I love bringing joy to the people. It makes me feel great, makes me feel regal. I do what I do for you. 8 p.m. Friday, you know how we do. Let's go. It's time for Like It or Not. With Rebecca Azores. Let's start this damn show. It's time for Like It or Not. With Rebecca Azores. Let's start this damn show. Like it or not, y'all. 2023. Let's start this damn show. Let's go.
Like It or Not starts now.
Good evening, good evening, good evening.
You know, I was I was expecting good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm still not quite adjusted to the evening, but welcome to Like It or Not, where we're free to tell the truth.
And not care who doesn't like it. Brother Ben.
DJ exclusive. How's it going, man?
Man, it's been a week, bro. That's all I can say. It's been a damn week, bro.
Man, who you telling? We got to catch up, man. This has been one for the record books, man. I'm so glad Friday is here. And I'm glad to be here with the audience. Shout out to Rebecca Azor. She's not here today, but she's here in spirit. She's helped produce the entire show this evening. So as we talk about these stories, just realize and not here for you to see her, but she's in the background still working on the show. We're going to continue building it and growing it. I'm looking forward to the future, man. What's going on your way?
Man, same. Likewise, dude. Of course, Rebecca got to have a hand in everything. Even though she ain't here, she's going to be...
she's gonna leave her imprint. She's gonna leave her mark wherever,
all over the place, nails everywhere.
Oh man, but no, it's been a wild week. So many momentous things, anniversaries. This week today actually marks the 1-year anniversary of the Ukrainian war, the invasion of Vladimir Putin. I covered that extensively on the podcast. You guys can go over there if you want to hear us talk about that. But I just want to recognize that. Also, the lead story this past Tuesday, marked 58th anniversary since the assassination of Malcolm X. And it was announced this week by his family, his two of his daughters, and attorney Benjamin Crump, that the family intends on suing the federal government, the FBI, the CIA, the NYPD for $100 million and for answers for their involvement, their knowledge of the assassination and their potential involvement. I don't know if you remember earlier, I believe it was 2021, when 2 of the 3 men who were convicted for killing Malcolm X were exonerated. And if I'm not mistaken, they received compensation for wrongful conviction. And so that leaves a door wide open for the rest of the world to wonder, and the family to specifically ask the question and to sue to find out the involvement of the government in the assassination of Malcolm X. I think we have a clip. Let's take a look at the more information on this pending lawsuit.
For years, our family has fought for the truth to come to light concerning his murder, and we'd like our father to receive the justice that he deserves. The truth about the circumstances leading to the death of our father is important, not only to his family, but to many followers, many admirers, many who look to him for guidance, for love. And it is our hope that litigation of this case will finally provide some unanswered questions. We want justice served for our father.
What do you think, man? It's been almost 60 years and still trying to get answers in the death of Malcolm X. El-Hajj Malik Shabazz is his official name, that after he made his Mecca to his Hajj to Mecca, but almost 60 years and we still don't have answers.
Yes. It sounds about white man. You know how they do. They're going to cover it up as much as they possibly can. And always it's been one of those things with me where that slight edge of conspiracy theory pops through. It's like what the narrative was of at how Malcolm X was murdered, and also Martin Luther King Jr. was murdered as well too. It just never set right in my spirit. So I'm glad that they are following through and doing everything. I will say she looks just like him. Like when the clip popped up, I'm like, oh my gosh, bro, it's uncanny how much she looks like him.
His genes are strong.
Very much strong.
And one of the things I appreciate about Benjamin Crump, he phrased it so well. I was listening to him on NPR discussing this topic, and he was saying, the men who were exonerated and released from jail, they were rightfully compensated. They were paid for their wrongful conviction. And he said, but the people who should also be paid and receive compensation, the children, the
Yep.
family who had to grow up without their father because this us, allegedly, we'll see when it comes out in discovery. It seems as though the American government. And listen, I'm trying to parse my words carefully because I like to say things with accuracy. But I'm gonna be honest with you, like I've known in my gut for a long time that it was the government involved in this. Why? Because they have been involved with so many of the assassinations of our black leaders throughout history, right?
Absolutely.
Crump actually, what I wanted to mention was how Crump pointed out this about J. Edgar Hoover. J. Edgar Hoover was the leader of the director of the FBI during that time. And he said that something has to be done about Malcolm X. And less than a year later, he was assassinated. So I'll be interested in seeing what comes out. I know Attorney Crump and his team, they're rigorous. And they will be able to get any information that's available through discovery. And I'm looking forward to seeing some justice come. Here's the other thing, man. I really am looking forward to I love that the reputation of Malcolm X is being liberated from what America likes to do with all black men. And they make us look like we're boogeymen. Right. Like when we speak up for equality and justice, that means we're dangerous, or that means that we're going to commit some act of violence. And I'm reminded of Ossie Davis's eulogy when he eulogized Malcolm X. He asked a question. He was like, have you ever known Malcolm to be associated with acts of violence? And he said, no, he was a gentle creature. But this government, this system, the television, the news media, they did to him the same thing they do to every single black person, especially black men who like to stand up and say for truth and justice and fight the power. They try to make us look like villains. So I'm grateful that, one, I know better. Two, most black people know better. And three, with this case, I believe that America is going to, whether they want to admit it or not, they're going to see as information comes out exactly how the government, how these agencies actively work to not only get rid of him, but to vilify him in the process, man. So,
man, what if the documents that were recovered from Trump's house, Pence's house, and Biden, what if they were all the information and documentation on Malcolm and Martin and other people that they assassinated throughout the years, and that's what they're trying to hide? Man, that would be some shit.
you really are on the conspiracy. James, I forgot you really.
That took a whole turn, didn't it, bro?
Oh man,
that was right from the top too, Ben.
No. That threw me, as well as we're getting this pay party site as well. So I was multi at the time you said that. I'm like, wait a minute, Trump. I could see Trump being obsessed with black people like that, but I think he was more obsessed with Russia. I think he has nuclear documents on Mar-a-Lago or whatever the case may be, man. You can kind of tangle your conspiracy theory.
Look, between that and then me looking at my camera, because I'm like, why the hell does my camera have this gangster lean? Like the frame is like this, but I'm straight as hell. Not really, but just like, it's like,
dude, I did my best on mine,
bro.
Listen, I did the best I could with mine to get it as straight, but anyway, I digress, bro. And I heard what you said in there. Anyway, moving on. We're gonna clear through these stories, man. Until we just gonna start talking. If anything, if we may begin, the patron party is going to begin whatever time we end the show. That's when the patron party begins. So make sure that you are a part of that. Patreon.com/like it or not. Or if you're already a patron of the Benjamin Dixon Show, you obviously get access to it. You and I both went to school in Florida, man.
Yes.
Hell Wildcats, Bethune-Cookman University. It was Bethune-Cookman College at the time, but Hell Wildcats. Ron DeSantis, governor of Florida, is he's on a rampage. Before we get to the main story we want to cover, he is doing everything he can to harm blackness in the state of Florida. Now, he calls it being woke. Everybody knows he's attacked African American history. He's now changing the rules so they can have more powerful universities. He's doing everything he can to destroy the diversity and inclusion, which is, you know, as Rebecca always said about the diversity and inclusion, it was always token. It was never really something robust that helped Black people, but that was way too much for Ron DeSantis. You know, it's kind of like affirmative action. They're trying to overturn affirmative action, but it's been something that was far more beneficial for white women than it was for Black people. But that's a whole different conversation. Ron DeSantis, who is actively attacking Blackness, now wants an apology from NBC and MSNBC as one of their anchors, Mitchell. She inadvertently misspoke. She did not say it as precisely as she needed to, describing what Ron DeSantis was doing in the state of Florida as she interviewed Vice Kamala Harris. Now, we're going to play the clips so that you could hear more background information on this, but I just wanted to make sure that everyone knows that this is the same Ron DeSantis who is actively banning books across the state of Florida, the same Ron DeSantis who doesn't want your children to learn AP African American history. Let's take a look at this clip.
Tonight, Floridians rallying against Governor Ron DeSantis' Stop Woke Act and his rejection of an advanced placement African American studies class.
We are the people! This is not about fighting each other. This is about fighting to tell all of our stories. That's right.
The pilot AP course made headlines in January when the Florida Department of Education rejected the course, the DeSantis administration calling it a vehicle for a political agenda. The governor also restricting some teachings of race and sexuality in public schools.
We want education, not indoctrination.
Following DeSantis' ban, the College Board, the designers of the course, released a curriculum without controversial topics called out by the governor. DeSantis now going further, raising the idea of scrapping the educational group's classes altogether.
Some of the top high schools in the country, some of these private schools, they don't do AP. College credit, yes. Having that available for everyone, absolutely. Does it have to be done by the College Board, or can we utilize some of these other providers?
The College Board responding to the broader controversy over the weekend, saying in part, quote, "We are proud of this course, but we have made mistakes in the rollout that are being exploited." Going on to explain, they, quote, "deeply regret not immediately denouncing the Florida Department of Education's slander." In contrast to Florida, New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy announced this week that in his state, the AP African American Studies classes would expand to 26 schools, saying in a press release, quote, "As governors like Florida's Ron DeSantis prioritize political culture wars ahead of academic success, New Jersey will proudly teach our kids that Black history is American history." This specific AP class, just one of many topics sparking a national debate about what children are reading and learning across the country. DeSantis referencing a slew of heated school board meetings as well.
This is illegal.
One such example that made rounds on social media was this school board meeting in Frisco, Texas last November.
And she grabbed his with her hands and started moving it.
One mother read a graphic passage describing sexual assault from a book she says was in a school library.
Finally, she stopped crying because he put his and I don't think you...
Before school board members shut off her mic, you hear the crowd react.
He survived two.
Okay, so that's the background.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, you know, the key thing in that was that that book was describing sexual assault, right? But that's the background of what's going on. Now, in context of that ongoing story, Andrea Mitchell of MSNBC interviewed Vice President Kamala Harris, and her words were not precise enough. This is how she described it. She described what Governor DeSantis is doing as trying to ban the teaching of slavery and the aftermath of slavery. That's the key phrase. Now, Ron DeSantis, being the troll that he is, has decided to say he's no longer going to do any interviews on NBC or MSNBC, which, if I'm not mistaken, I haven't seen him do one yet. Right.
Yeah.
So to me, it feels like an empty threat because he's not the politician who actually has enough spine to sit down in an interview to be held accountable or to answer for his policies. So I don't think anybody should actually care about this, but he's trying to leverage that in order to get an apology from Andrea Mitchell, MSNBC, over their coverage of what he's trying to do. Listen, he may not technically, there may not be any language in any of his new legislation or his executive orders that says that he wants to ban the teaching of slavery and the aftermath. But the spirit of it, I'm sorry, Andrea Mitchell, she's not too far from what he's trying to do. He is trying to ban the teaching of the responsibility that whiteness, and whatever category you want to put in whiteness, white supremacy, white nationalism, colonialism, all of it. He's trying to ban the culpability that this country still has this for what they did to Black people since 1619. So I don't know, man. Like, this, I try to be precise in my language as much as I possibly can for things like this. But then at the end of the day, also, man, sometimes you can tell these politicians, well, I can't really say what I want to say. But anyway, you tell these politicians to kiss your butt, because what is he?
Yeah.
When has he showed up for an interview? He's always doing, press conferences where he can yell at people, but never have anybody ask him a serious serious question back. I've never seen him do a sit down, especially not on MSNBC.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen him on anything, and it's just like, bruh, I'm not the type of person that has hate in their heart for anyone, but the amount of dislike that I have for that man is disgusting at this point. Everything that he's trying to do, it's literally disgusting. Like, bro, excuse me, you're trying to basically eliminate all the history of Black people. That's what you're trying to do, especially in Florida. Y'all was on it. Rosewood really happened. Let's not
come
forget.
on now.
So now you don't want that being taught in the schools. No, that shit needs to be taught, and everybody needs to know what your people did, your ancestors, colonizers, what they did.
Technically, I'm glad you brought that up, because I wonder how many people actually know that Ron DeSantis's family is only third generation American. They are immigrants from Italy. They are not. I mean, he's doing his very best to be a son of the Confederacy. He's doing his very best to help the South rise again. But truth be told, my family's been in this country way long. If anybody needs to go back to where they come from, it's Ron DeSantis.
He's going to hell back, because, bro, I'm not going to speak, not going to say it.
But listen, man, to your broader point, though, man, the depth of concentration that Ron DeSantis has on using Black people, using the LGBTQIA community, using anyone he can to throw red meat out. I mean, this is a game for Ron DeSantis. At the end of the day, what he's doing, in addition to his racism, his xenophobia, and his homophobia, what he's doing in addition to that is giving away billions of dollars of Floridian taxpayer dollars to corporations. What he's doing is amassing more political and economic power and structural power into the office of the governor. What he's doing is he's booting, he's getting school board, duly elected members of school boards through the state of Florida. He's ousting them and getting his favorite picks in. He is violating Florida law and probably constitutional law, but that remains to be seen until we can get some actual lawsuits against him. But right now, he's running up the scoreboard, not only for his racism, but for his fascism, man. He's a dangerous person. And I think people need to not have all of their energy concentrated in opposing Donald Trump only. I think folks really need to turn their attention to this guy who wants to be president in 2024, man. And I promise you, if this guy becomes president in 2024, even more so than Donald Trump, I think he would do a lot more to get us closer to Handmaid's Tale. I think Ron DeSantis is definitely the guy who is going to take us. We're on the verge right now. I want people to realize, like, we are close. We're teetering on democracy falling apart. Ron DeSantis is the guy who will go in and take it all the way there.
Yeah, agreed, man. I was just about to ask you who's the lesser of the two evils, and you said it right there. It's like dumb Santis has taken all of Trump's ideologies and probably made them 1,000 times worse than what they were already.
That's right. And it's they've made it worse. He's made it worse because he has the intelligence necessary to actually make calculated steps. He has just enough self-control. See, Donald Trump doesn't have any impulse control. Donald Trump grew up as a rich, privileged kid, son of a multi-millionaire living in the cosmopolitan high life of New York City. No one could tell him anything. And so Donald Trump never had to sit down and precisely calculate steps. Ron DeSantis, on the other hand, he's still a privileged, rich kid, but he is Machiavellian enough. He's malicious. He's a JAG officer from the Navy who supervised torture at Guantanamo Bay. Okay, I want to make sure everybody knows that. When, I guess we're still torturing detainees. I hope that we're not. But when we were at the height of torturing detainees in Guantanamo Bay, this guy, Ron DeSantis, was a JAG officer who was supervising the torture, giving it the illusion of human rights. His job was to go there to be a human rights supervisor. He went there and just supervised torture. So this is the type of mind that we're dealing with. When he was a teacher, he taught for 1 year of school in Georgia. Right after he got out of his prestigious Ivy League education, he went and taught at an elite private school. While he was there, in addition to going to party with the underage girls, right? That's the New York Times stories. You can look that up in New York Times. In addition to that, he taught pro-slavery and pro-Confederate lessons. Watch this, James. He taught it so frequently that by the end of his first year, the students put together a compilation video mocking him for teaching pro-slavery and pro-Confederate lessons. So this guy has been committed to this level of racism and fascism for a very, very long time.
Yes, mum's the word. I'm just gonna be quiet because
we can't say too much on there.
I know, right, man? Exactly. You already
know what you're thinking, man.
Like, and then especially I've been hearing. I know the family was talking about it last week that he's of course messing with Disney a whole lot. And I'm like, that's cool, y'all mess with Disney. At least I think Disney has enough gall and balls to go ahead and just say, hey man, we're gonna try to get you back with all these damn attorneys that we pay for. Because he's just not that smart. So I just hope that they help out with some kind of way. Pull y'all weight, Disney. Damn, y'all run Florida, man. Come on.
Man, Disney run the world, man. Disney run with Marvel, with like the whole lineup of what Disney is doing right now. Disney, you're right. They have enough attorneys to be able to sue this man into oblivion. The question is what strategy are they actually going to employ?
Yeah.
Can we count? I mean, they're a multi-billion-dollar multinational corporation. At the end of the day, they want to stay in good graces with Ron DeSantis because Disney wants a check from Ron DeSantis the same way Publix got a check from Ron DeSantis from taxpayers. So we'll see. I hope Disney does something good. But say that again now.
I said, speak on it, brother.
Hey, man, just trying to do my job, man. Anyway, when was it? Did we talk about ASAP Rocky last week or the week before? Rebecca, I think Rebecca was here when we talked about. I don't know if you remember that cover from Vogue.
Oh, it was last week. It was British Vogue with him and Rihanna and the baby on there. Yep.
Yes. And the conversation that we had last week about it, because it was all online, and this is, I don't know what's wrong with us, but I do know what's wrong. The fact that people believe that it was a slight against Black manhood for ASAP Rocky to be following behind Rihanna on the British Vogue cover. Now that conversation has extended to Jeff Majors, who's going to be in Jonathan Majors. Jeff Majors, that's a musician. Jonathan Majors, who's going to be in Ant-Man. What else has he been soon? He's coming up.
Creed. He's in Creed 3. Creed 3. He was also in where he got his start was Lovecraft Country.
Lovecraft Country.
which
I was so
was an
mad when they
absolutely
canceled that show.
amazing show.
I was so mad when they canceled that show, bro. Like, that was a good show. What was the name of Hippolyta? Was it Hippolyta, the black woman who turned into a goddess in space?
Yes, man. Oh my
Man.
gosh.
So anyway, Jonathan, he did a photo shoot himself this week, and the same conversation came about. I don't know if we have. Actually, I do know we do have it. If I don't know if it's B-roll or if it's audio to it, but in this cover for Ebony, you can see he's just over there stunting, and because he wore pink. This is the part I don't get. Bruh. You know, there's a lot of things. If you want to talk about manhood, let's talk about it. But wearing the color pink is not a slight against manhood. But all over the interwebs, you know, Joe Biden's internet, Beyonce's internet, black folks, black men are talking about this being another slight against black manhood. What do you think?
And being not only black men, it's black women as well too. That's the part that really pissed me off a lot, because black women over the past few weeks have been saying a lot of stuff about men, certain things men are doing that has just been a lot. I'm just like, oh my gosh, sisters, come on, man, we gotta do better than this. But the inspiration for this magazine cover was an anime character from, I think it's either One Piece or Naruto. I think it's One Piece. And one of the characters dresses just like this. And they actually have a comparison that they did it. But some people, men and women, are just so blind and just so close-minded that they always got to think, look at him, he looks so gay. They're always demasculating men when they put them on these covers. But your ass try to go out here in Chelsea boots and tight skinny jeans, and you straight, and you think that shit looks good,
bro. Wait, well, I mean, sometimes we can look good in our skinny jeans. That's what I'm saying. Like, let's expand the conversation a little bit. I was watching what is my boy Van Lathan, his podcast about it, and he did a quick reminder of, you know, where we come from as black folks, especially musically in terms of creative arts, right? You got Earth, Wind, and Fire. Used to dress in skin tight clothes. Rick James, he listed Rick James. I mean, you list anybody from the 70s, the 80s. I mean, it's not as though we have James Brown. He showed a picture of James Brown wearing his sexy overalls.
His One Piece,
there it is. That's the comparison. That's the comparison. And it's fire. It's fire. Listen, if your idea of masculinity is centered in any of this, literally any of these things, right? Because whose version of masculinity are you trying to model? Colonizers?
Yeah, colonizers. Exactly.
White supremacists? People whose sons don't like, like people whose sons and children hate them, men who, can we just go down the list of the atrocities that have happened because of patriarchy, because of this type of manhood that is toxic? People hate the phrase toxic masculinity. It kind of gets on my nerves too, just because of how frequently it's used, but it is a real thing. And if you need your man to not wear pink in order for him to be manly enough for you, I think somebody needs to go back and check how much white supremacy and colonization is actually happening in their minds.
Dead ass agreed, because I just don't see it. That's probably one of the hottest damn covers I've seen. Then it's February, which is supposed to be the month of love. So of course it's gonna be pink or red, y'all.
Hey, man.
It's just always something. You can't please everybody. That goes back to the Chris Brown and Chloe Bailey song. Everybody releasing like she shouldn't do that song with a white. It's those things where I don't know, the elevation of thinking as of lately for some of our people, and this is a conversation between the black people that needs to be had.
Come on, man. Come on.
It just irks my soul sometimes, because I'm just like, man, y'all say some of the dumbest shit.
And it gets promoted and it gets so much attention. The ignorance gets so much traction. The algorithm loves the ignorance. I want to shout out to, I think it was Mario Drake who said Cameron, the rapper, used to wear that pink fur all the time.
All the time, bro.
All the time. I mean, matter of fact, Drake just, well, anyway, I don't care about Drake too much.
LL Cool J used to wear pink all the time back in the day too.
Yeah, yes. I used to, Drake just did a remake with Cameron, if I'm not mistaken, where he was wearing no, it wasn't Cameron, it was another rapper. His name escapes me, but they were all wearing pink. I literally do not understand why the idea of manhood has been so imprisoned by such narrow-mindedness that you can't even let your people wear the color pink without it making them fragile. Like, y'all are so insecure about your masculinity. Maybe, I don't know. I think they need to fall back.
Let me tell you, it's a deeper conversation now, I think, for the simple fact that, and I hate to say this, but some of the black women feel that a lot of black men are on the down low or do things that they would consider gay. The big thing now that's going around the past few days is that there shouldn't be a straight man smoking hookah at all. Never heard of anything, bro. It's smoke. It's smoke. It don't care if you gay or straight. It's smoke. You can smoke. They smoke hookah in India, overseas, everywhere. They don't say nothing about it. But you over here, if your man smoking hookah, he gay. What?
Oh man, bro.
Is this a real conversation that's being had on social media right now?
Have you seen all the videos where now I ain't gonna lie, I've laughed at some of these. I'm guilty. I'm just gonna preface this because I'm already laughing. But it reminds me of all the videos on Instagram where a guy would be eating a hot dog and then gay comes out of nowhere. I'm like, really? Dudes can't eat hot dogs without being labeled gay. That's how twisted this thing really is in society. And again, I want to emphasize, whose model of manhood are you trying to replicate? You know what I mean? Like, whose model? I don't know. I can't really deal on. There you go. DJ Spoofus is back. And the other thing go ahead.
I was about to say, you're right, man. It's just like this. Who are y'all modeling this stuff from? Where are y'all getting this perception
the man that
from?
They have to look at Jonathan Majors and say, oh, he's too feminine. Like, well, what's your standard of a man?
Jonathan Majors, my guy. Have y'all seen this? Bruh.
Dude, listen, some of them are jealous. See, and that's the other thing. Like, on my side of the equation, I look at them, I'm like, God, dog, why couldn't I have developed like that? Like, I be in the gym. Listen, folks, I know I'm like, I am who I am or what I am, but I be working out all the time. I be running all the time, and I just cannot get nothing like this. So that's my only beef with it, is that I can't get it. I can't have those kind of pecs, you know.
Yeah,
but everybody else.
Dead Eddie, I think that's the name, said it good right now in the chat. Says gay panic is very prevalent in the black community. Unfortunately, it really is. At one point, I thought we had moved past it and we were doing good, but like this year alone in 2023, it's still it's still a lot of conversations that need to be had.
Okay, so now if we're leaning, let's lean in a little bit more because I'm flying through these stories. I don't know what I was thinking when I said let's do a night show. My old behind.
Don't worry, we gotta mean soon.
It was my call, yeah. If anybody wants to know who did this, I did it. And now I'm like, you see this coffee maker right here by me? Cut this thing on in about 30 seconds. But let's lean in the conversation because it's a real one. One of the things that bothers me the most about black folks on Instagram. I want to be very specific. Black folks on Instagram who follow behind all of these influencers who peddle their soft, and I'm gonna call it soft in air quotes, homophobia, transphobia, like, and even some xenophobia, but mainly the homophobia and the transphobia that black folks on Instagram follow behind has them co-signing people like Candace Owens, has them aligning with people like Ben Shapiro, has black folks falling in line with white supremacists, man. Like this gay panic that what was called chat room gay panic. I think it's a great word for it. It is going to have black folks lined up with Klansmen trying to preach that on a trans person. And I'm like, folks, you really got to take a step back and ask yourself, if what I believe has me lined up with Nazis, maybe I need to slow down and reevaluate my beliefs as it pertains to the LGBTQIA community. So, I mean, the gay panic is real, especially with them folks on Instagram all day, every day. Baller alert, put something up there with some homophobia in it, some latent homophobia in it. All you see in the comment section is just homophobic replies. You'll see somebody make a post attacking trans people, and in it you'll see replies. And I'm like, you all are literally co-signing the very people who want to destroy blackness. They're not just after the gay community, they're after the black community, they're after Jewish people, they're after Muslims. But because of gay panic, black folks are siding with fascists.
Yeah. And I'm gonna tell you what else
on Instagram, at least.
Right. And I'm gonna tell you what pushes a lot of that narrative as well, too, in some of those situations is a lot of, because it's I ain't gonna say it's a double-edged sword, but it's one of those things where it's been happening a lot, where me coming up, gay was not, it was nothing. It was not the way. If they found out you were gay, you were going to be kicked out your family, kicked out the church. Everything was going to happen to you if you were gay. If you're going to hell, you're going under hell, everything. So now at one point, gay became very popular. I don't know if you remember that, where everything that you see, it was like, oh, it's okay to be gay. It was like now the straightest people are doing kind of gay-ish things. So especially on social media. So during the pandemic, it was just like this uprising of gay content. And I won't say gay content in the point of like porn or anything, but men being more comfortable with themselves and showing out. Okay. So what I really think
I'm
is
sorry can I interrupt real quick, James? Please don't lose your thought. I'm sorry you just had to make that distinction. That distinction where you were talking about gay content and you said, well, I'm not talking about porn. The fact that you have to make that distinction is really reflective of how crazy the society has become right now today, because there's so many people who conflate being gay with other things. But go ahead. I'm sorry for interrupting.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So now it's one of those things where I think people see that stuff on social media, the TikToks, especially on TikTok, Instagrams, Facebook, and everything else, where they feel like, oh, okay, I don't want my son doing anything like that. So now I got to be extra hard on him, so he's not going to turn out gay like these people is. And a lot of people understand a lot of this stuff is just for likes and views and go viral. But now it's having a bigger effect on people, to where now we're going back to those phases how we were back in the old days when we were coming up, where if you were gay, like I said, I don't want anything to do with you. And just like remembering going through college and how everything was, I'm just like, man, I feel happy that some people don't have to go through these things. Like, I'm glad my parents were the kind of parents like, oh, no, I ain't going to have no gay son of mine doing none of this, blah, blah, blah. But what happens to those people that do have that? And now some people are welcoming, but then, like I said, those other parents, not so much, where people are still getting put out the house for being gay or being put out doing everything. And I'm just like, why? Why are we doing this?
Because they have entrusted their entire conception of love based on whether or not the person they are supposed to be loving lives and does exactly what they say.
Yeah.
That's not love. That's control. And at the end of the day, the other thing that they're missing is that your kids are only going to be kids for so long. And when they're grown and gone, if you're a decent human being, you should miss the fact that your kids are no longer right there with you. But when you do stuff like that, when you put your kids out, when you alienate them because they're living, they're doing, they're being, there's something that you don't approve of and you can't get over it, then you just cut off your relationship with your child. For like, what parent wants to live their life with their child alive and well, but you don't spend any time with them, you don't talk to them, you don't call them because they're gay? Some people don't need to be parents.
That's some real talk
Benjamin Parnell Dixon. Percy.
Percy, my daddy name, man. You hit that one on. Shout out to Percy Dixon.
Right.
Go ahead.
And Perry Anderson just said it as well, too. We do know where it comes from as Black folks. It did come from Christianity, man. That's a lot of it, a lot of the teachings that taught that lesson and everything about being gay, it did come from Christianity. And I hate to say that as being a Christian, and that's one reason that I stopped practicing, I guess you could say, and I became more free thinking, is because just remembering some of the lessons and everything else, it was like, man, that's real deep that you feel that way. You say this from a book that's over 1,000 years old that you didn't write, your mama didn't write, your aunts. Yeah, I don't know if I can follow this. So let me start free thinking on my own and start learning my own lessons.
You know, man, that statement is true. The funny thing is, like, as much as I've been in church, I didn't. Okay, so I wrote a book about it, just in case people wonder. It's a chapter in my book, God is Not a Republican. I was kind of homophobic when I was in high school. You didn't pick up on that in college, did you? We never talked about this.
No,
I didn't think
we were cool.
I started growing up and getting a little bit, you know what I mean? I started growing out of it as I got older, because, you know, you should learn more. You should, like, but the root of my homophobia wasn't from the church, even though I was in the church all the time. Because I actually, you know, we read the Bible. It was so many more condemnations of everything. Like, if somebody wants to use the Bible as a justification for their opposition to homosexuality, then I've got a whole lot of other things that I need to list for you that God has listed as an abomination that he hates. And in Proverbs 6, it doesn't list homosexuality at all. It lists liars, deceivers of the brethren, sowers of discord and dissent, you know, those quick to run towards malice and murder. Though, you know, it's a whole list of things that in the book of Leviticus, I mean, because I do know the Bible pretty well, out of the hundreds of laws that Moses wrote to give to the people, the children of Israel, one was about homosexuality versus the 600 other that were about everything from shellfish, not eating shellfish, all the way down to paying your workers fair wages. I swear on everything, I read that in church a couple of times. The Bible has more emphasis on paying fair wages to your workers than it does on the LGBTQIA community. So, you know, it's how people interpret what they read, and their intention, their purpose for interpreting it is power and control. And so, you know, I'm not dismissing the one of you said. I actually agree with you. I just want to add that little bit more nuance, because if anybody is still to this day trying to use the Bible as justification for hatred towards the LGBTQIA community, I got a long list of things that y'all better be doing, or else y'all about to bust hell wide open long before. I swear on everything, the way Deuteronomy is set up, bro, I swear on everything, there's no way a Christian period can the gay community and think that they are going to heaven before gay people, when you look at all the sins that God has listed as an abomination that we're actively doing today. So I ain't got time for none of them, man.
Yeah,
anyway,
exactly. And I will say this too. I can honestly say that coming up in the church, I never had a pastor that spoke on homosexuality in the church. And I'm very happy about that, because that would have skewed me away a long time ago. But I'm so happy that I didn't. But just hearing, it was more so the people outside. They were still in the church, but outside of the church.
High school now.
Right,
bro.
Now high school.
Like, man, now I picked it up for sure in school. There's no doubt about it, bro. You man, look, it was, man, I ain't even got you. We all know the language that we used back in the day, not you, James, but people who own, you know, it was prevalent in the community.
Honest, I used it too. You know, there's a lot of language that we used back in the day coming up, because we weren't, I'm not going to say sensitive as we were, but we weren't as free thinking. There we go. I'm loving this free thinking term. We weren't as free thinking as we were then as we are now. We weren't mature enough to learn stuff and like, okay, and approach people and follow what they want to be called versus us just calling y'all whatever the hell we wanted to.
Let me go one step further, Di. People in churches who use the Bible as just the church can't say nothing to me at large. The Catholic Church, the Mormon Church, the Southern Baptist churches, especially those three institutions have had investigations into their sexual assault, rape of women, men, and children in the cases of thousands upon in the Southern Baptist Church alone. There are over 600 to 900. I want to get the right number, but I'm certain it's over 600 cases of reported sexual assault and abuse that was covered up for decades, man. So while I 100%, churches, I'm about that. I am, my life is church, but for churches to take this and to use it to attack an entire community, and they've got this backlog of unanswered crimes of sexual assault and molestation, the church needs to get its house in order before it starts poking around everyone else's house.
Hello.
So
hello. And you start seeing that all start coming out when everything started happening with these bishops and archdioceses or whatever they're called. And it's like, oh, okay. Y'all talking a lot of shit. Now the shit is at your door.
It's
the Catholic Church. Thank you.
Bro, it is. I just can't even, some of the stories that I've read, because there is a concerted effort again. This is, if somebody want to know my philosophy, and we'll move on because we're running out of time.
Yeah.
My philosophy is oppress no one. When you have power over someone, your job is to not oppress any of them, whether it's social power, economic power, political power, whatever the case may be, is to not be the oppressor. And when I see people in positions of authority who have power over their congregations and they use that power to oppress, to me, that is a number one signifier that you are not living like Christ. You are exact opposite of what Jesus was. You are the very thing that Jesus taught against. And so for people who want to cherry pick the Bible and just pick out one thing, well, the fact of the matter is if we started preaching about things that you're doing, y'all be in hell a lot quicker than you think. But I digress. Let's move on to this next story. This one is this story. I'm not really sure. Let's start this video. I don't want to say anything. Let's play this video. It is a video of is this the video, David? I want to make sure. Is this the video of them cooking ramen noodles in the back of the truck, delivering it to homeless people? Can you help me out with that before we play it? Because I want to make sure. Yes. Okay, that's the video. Yeah. Play that video for me, and I want everyone to see the same thing that I saw.
Chicken ramen.
Chicken seasoning. And the butter. It's my family's recipe.
It's a lot of butter.
Parsley flakes.
God damn, that was a lot of butter.
First of all, this is the back
now
of the truck.
Now for the fun part. Okay.
You still standing on the pavement, baby.
Oh, yeah. Nice and all right.
Some dirty ass
graves.
Pavement ass man.
It's almost lunchtime. We gotta hurry.
Where are we going?
You'll see. Okay. Oh, it's cooked perfectly.
You know where did heat come from?
Okay, let's go.
Where did heat come from, man?
So we can drive with it in there?
Haven't you heard of a food truck?
Man.
So We used to have a lot of homeless people.
Okay.
Yeah. And hey, look over there.
And this guy is such a bad
So you
actor.
just go up to him?
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah, just ask him if he's hungry.
Hey, man. You hungry? Do you need any food or anything, man?
You got $20?
20 bucks. I mean, we don't have $20, but we have some ramen noodles we can give you, man.
Where? You got ramen noodles?
Yeah, they're actually back in the truck bed. They're fresh, they're hot. We just made a ton of ramen noodles and we're just driving around giving it to people.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so
I'll
just
take a bowl.
honestly, just go back and just take a scoop. We have a spoon for you here.
Oh, cool. Thanks.
Yeah, give it a
I
try.
Just go back there and grab it
Yeah,
myself?
just go back.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh,
It must be pretty good.
he's going for a big scoop there. Oh, that's great. That's awesome.
Hey, there you go, man.
Hey, can I have a second bowl?
You want a second bowl?
Oh, please.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, bring it to a friend if you want, man. Look, that's a big bowl of ramen.
I know.
There you go. Hey, grab as much as you want.
Yeah.
Hey, do you have some money we should give him too?
You know, let me look. Yeah. Let me look and see. You.
Shoot.
Yeah, we'll bring a scooper next time. You get some?
Hey,
That's-
yeah.
Okay.
This to him.
Hey, and I know your hands are full, but I also want to give you $20. So here, I just put it in your pocket. There you go. Enjoy the noodles.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Hey, bye, guys. Thank
Hey.
you so much.
Wow, he's in it.
Now, James, I've seen a lot of videos where people try to do something nice and they just want to capture it and they want to make content out of it, right? Okay. Bro, this got dragged. This video right here that we just watched got dragged over Twitter so ruthlessly because of it's just one, I'm sorry, it's fake. Two, like they said in the comment section, that amount of food actually could have fed some people for real.
For real,
You know
for
what I
real.
mean? Like people can because they could have. There's so many different things they could have done to actually help people, to actually capture moments of them helping, but instead they did this for clout. And it's not just them; it's really prevalent right now where people are using poor people in order to score points on Instagram and on videos
Yeah.
and TikTok to go viral. It's wild.
Yeah, dude, that's the thing to do now is to post you being kind to someone and posting it. If you were really doing a good deed, it wouldn't be no need to record it or post it or do any of that shit. Like I know Mr. Beast does stuff like that. That's cool. You might have some people that go to that record some of those videos that's like, hey ma'am, I left my wallet in the car, but can you give me something to eat? And I promise I'll bring it back. And they, of course, the black Jamaican ladies, like, of course, baby, I got you. Come on in. And they feed them and they're like, hey, I actually got money, and they give them money. Okay, that's cool. Those are cool. But you mocking an actual homeless person and making some noodles, because I say something else, making some noodles in the back of a truck and then driving it around and trying to feed it to somebody, bruh, guaranteed this is a setup, because if you would have did this for other people, you would have recorded the entire day.
Exactly. Thank you.
You would have
James,
recorded the entire day,
thank
not
you.
just one goddamn person. And
That's right.
honestly, and I'm not saying that a homeless person has a specific look. Well, let's be honest, bro. That man don't look the first goddamn bit of homeless at all.
I'm not going to. James, you trying to get me canceled.
He just walked out the house.
All I know is that this video is fake. and and
They can tell.
I got the same vibes. I ain't even gonna front. I got the same exact vibes from old boy. Anybody who has done you listen, you don't have to. It was just contrived. It was so phony the entire way through. And it doesn't help that we live in a society where people are doing fake stuff like this all the time. And it's like, how do you monetize compassion? Is that what we're doing? Like we're cashing in on compassion.
Bruh.
Well, I guess that's anything to get them bucks, man. Do what you got to do to get the bag.
That's what it is. This goes back. This is up there with the white people that do food on their counters and just don't put nothing
my
down.
goodness, in the toilets and stuff.
In the toilets, that's
this is exactly what it's reminding me.
It's got to be the same people.
So can the white guys speak up for a second?
Uh-oh.
I just want, there is a trend. I don't pay attention to TikTok really, but I know there's a trend where like white people, specifically white people, are like cooking like these like massive feasts of like things like just like canned foods and frozen foods, and they're laying like burgers on top of like frozen things all together, about how you can make these amazing meals of like, it's just trash. And they do it with their bare hands on the counter with nothing cleaned or anything, and they make it's supposed to be this huge idea. This is an extension of that. They're doing this, they're taking that trend, and hey, we can feed fake homeless people for likes.
For likes.
Bro,
and the thing is, they could have done this for real. They could have set up a table, taken a huge crock pot, put all those ramen noodles in there, and actually fed homeless people. And then taking pictures for all. I mean, if you want to do good deeds, there's plenty of people out there who actually need it. There's no need for people. But the problem is that they don't want to do good deeds, man. At the end of the day, let's just skip to the punchline. The punchline is this. A lot of these folks don't care 1 cent, 1% about homelessness, about people who are hurting. They want clicks, and they feel like, oh, this is a cute way for me to get clicks. That's what's so disgusting about it to me, man.
Absolutely, man. It's disgusting as hell, because all these people out there is like, come on, man, come on. And then you sit on a fucking rock, bro.
And here's here's the other thing I really believe about when you're trying to help others. Don't give people something that you won't eat yourself. You know, don't give people something that you wouldn't wear yourself. Don't give people throwaways like that meal, unless those people on that truck went back there and ate out of the truck themselves. Don't take it around to someone else for them to eat. But then, you know, they be fixing food in the toilets and stuff, so you never know. They might.
And you know this shit is fake. It ain't nobody smoke or steam coming off that food. I don't know if y'all saw that or not. It ain't no steam or nothing.
Where were they using it at?
This gives ramen a bad name.
It really does.
Because this is not because ramen noodles, as we think about it, those $1 packs, that's not real ramen.
Oh, you're right.
They're not $1 a pack, David. They're like 30 cents. What are you talking about, man?
I haven't bought ramen in a while. I was thinking inflation. That's what I was thinking.
Like,
David,
rich.
David, have you ever? No, I ain't gonna mess with you. You never know. All right, let's shift stories a little bit before we go to this. To another story, I want to give a shout out to Letterhack, who is the artist of the left. I just want to say he is the artist of the left. He draws everything and everybody on the left, and I absolutely love his work. I owe him a phone call because I want to come and be a part of his stream, which is, I believe, Thursday nights. He has a live stream that he does every Thursday night where he draws pictures in real time and he talks to the audience. And I'm hoping to be able to join him one of these days. But we have I think we have a video bumper promoting his upcoming work. Let's take a look at it.
Nice.
Oh, it's on Monday nights. I have Nat A says it's on Monday nights. Okay, we'll get the stream night correct. But I want to make sure. Hang on, let's take a look over here real quick.
Yeah, I don't see anything. Okay, there's David.
Okay, there we go. Oh.
We don't hear anything, David.
Okay, so we don't have audio, but you guys know Matt. And a matter of fact, we're gonna do one better than that. We'll have him on the show here so he can talk about it himself. But we want to check out and support his streams. I thought that it was on Monday nights, but I figured maybe he had changed it because I have another note here saying that it's on Thursday nights. But I want to make sure that we have audio now.
The letter hack. Oh my gosh. You don't miss, folks. He does not miss whatsoever.
Okay, there it was. That's the audio we were looking for. Be sure to check him out. Support him on Twitter, I believe, at Letterhack. It's been a while. I'm not really sure if he's doing Twitter anymore because of all the changes that have been making. But either way it goes, we support his work because he has been supporting us for a very long time. And all the artwork that you see at the beginning of the show, throughout the show and everything, that all came from Matt, the Letterhack. So shout out to him. Also, a reminder, as soon as we're done here, we are going straight into the patron party, patreon.com/like it or not. Or if you are a member of the Benjamin Dixon Show patreon.com/the BPD show, you get access to it. The Zoom is open. We're going to start letting people in as soon as we are done here. James, we have a few more stories to get to. What did you have? Do you have any radar before? Because you know me, I get to talking. I just go.
Actually, I don't, Ben. But one thing I did see that crossed my eyes yesterday was Tennessee is set to become the first U.S. state to ban drag. We'll talk about that next week. Yeah, we'll get that story. We'll talk about it next week. Yeah, I never looked too in depth about it, but just seeing the headline was just like, that's the, I ain't gonna say disheartening, but I'm like, that's some bullshit.
No, definitely. I'm not done, Jeremiah. Most definitely. It's definitely, listen, man. I thought mute. Dude, that particular story, we will cover that next week for sure. But I in context of everything that we already talked about, the push to ban drag shows is all a part of the gay panic. And it is a part of a movement that's trying to label anyone who is LGBTQIA or someone who dresses in drag, label them as groomers and people who are going to mess with your children. The record is clear. There are 0 reports of a single child being molested at a drag show. Now tell me how many have been molested in church?
Ooh.
They're banning drag shows. Anyway,
and then
moving on.
On top of that, it to make matters even worse, and I still haven't watched this interview yet, but I will talk about it next week too. Man, this might be one of those episodes next week. Press secretary discussed that there are 451 anti-LGBTQIA plus bills that have come out. 451. Wow. Yeah. Wow. So it's been a lot. It's been so much with work, and then with that, I'm just like, man, I'm not looking at any of that right now. I can't.
Man, and then it just when you mentioned the Secretary of State, it reminded me of what I saw tomorrow is around the country. The Nazis are organizing a day of hate tomorrow, and we don't know what it looks like, but the FBI put out a warning about that. And I just want to, I want to bring it to our attention, not to make people afraid, angry, or scared, but to say, folks, just understand that these fights are all interconnected. The same exact people who are going to be out there tomorrow screaming and anti-Semitic are the same people who are behind the legislation that is spreading this country, that's spreading LGBTQ hate, the same ideology, the same philosophy. The folks who are shooting up gay nightclubs are some of the same people, share the same philosophy as the people who are shooting up black churches, black grocery stores. I mean, if we don't realize that our fight is interconnected, and it doesn't matter what you believe, what you don't believe. I don't care if you're Muslim, Christian, Jew, Hindu, whatever. I don't care what your religion is. I don't care if you're gay, straight. I don't care if you don't believe in whatever I believe in, or if we don't get beyond our differences on our side of the equation, there is a cohesive, solid block of racist, homophobic, white supremacist Nazis who are organized around this country, and they are executing their agenda like you said, to the tune of 451 bills.
451.
They're going all in right now. They're going all in. We just have to keep our eye. We got to be mindful of other, like, we got to think about other people than ourselves.
Yeah. And that explains a lot. Here in Atlanta, there have been reports in a neighborhood here in Atlanta that they have been getting hate mail, or these little pieces of mail, basically a Ziploc bag with corn in it, with messages of the Nazi movement or something, and just like threats or whatnot. And it's been happening in a few neighborhoods here this past week.
Man, we got to be on our P's and Q's. We gotta stay on our toes. I want to close out with a much lighter story. Well, it's lighter for me because I laughed all the way through this. Did you see the valedictorian speech where the valedictorian read everybody
ate that ass up?
Run, David, run that beautiful beam footage. Because if I ever had a chance, boy, this is what I would do with it. Go for it.
Hell yeah.
Teacher who was regularly intoxicated during class this year. Thank you for using yourself as an example to teach students about the dangers of alcoholism. Being escorted by police out of school left a lasting impression. I hope that future students and staff learn from these examples. Thank you, class of 2019. To my counselor, thanks for teaching me to fend for myself. You were always unavailable to my parents and I, despite appointments. Only in these past few weeks, with the award ceremonies and graduation coming up, did you begin making your appearance. And might I note, you expressed to me your joy in knowing that one of your students was valedictorian when you had absolutely no role in my achievements. To the staff in the main office, thank you for teaching me how to be resourceful. Your negligence to inform me of several scholarships until the day before they were due potentially caused me to miss out on thousands of dollars. When applying for a work permit, you repeatedly turned me away, despite confirming with my employer and parents that all my paperwork was filled correctly. I've had to escalate issues with staff to an assistant principal various times to reach any sort of solution.
Wow.
To the teacher who was regularly intoxicated during class this year. Thank you for using yourself as an example to teach students about the dangers of alcoholism. Being escorted by police out of school left a lasting impression. I hope that future students and staff learn from these examples. Thank you, class of 2019.
Okay. Bro, I'm somewhere stuck between, having solidarity with my fellow teachers. I'm a former teacher. I was part of the teacher union. But my God. And the other half of me is just still a student at heart that remembers all of the same kind of struggles, man. Like just fighting your way through the red tape of high school, man. I would have said, I wanted to say some of the same things.
Yeah. I will say, going to a black high school, you're comprised of 3 areas here. And actually my high school is actually down the street from me. That's pretty terrible. But we weren't that bad. And it wasn't bad for me. And I think that's because I hung out with a group of people that, one of them, their mom was like over the science department. So got in close with mom always. It was like my second mom. And then, of course, the principal knew who I was. So, and my counselor was good. My counselor actually gave me scholarship information and everything else. But, of course, it was Mr. Wells bringing his big head self down on the to Atlanta, and off that scholarship money that changed the game on everything. So I will say shout out to Tri-Cities High School. They did right by me. I can't speak on anybody else's experience.
Well, I'm gonna give a simultaneous shout out and I'm not going to drag them the way this valedictorian just dragged, but shout out to Ely High School in Pompano Beach, Florida. Now that's my high school, Ely High. Donovan Wells came down, same Wells, Big Head Wells came down there and sat in our band room down there and gave me a scholarship to come to Cookman. That's how me and James met in the marching band. Yeah. But man, and the reason I want to give him a shout out is because Ely High is a black school in a historic black community founded by a legend, Blanche Ely. And I mean, absolutely love and adore everything about that high school, except some of the guidance counselors that were brought in from the other side of town, who made my life very difficult to the point where, you know, I had to bring my dad down there to help get me into the magnet program because they didn't want to admit me. They didn't want, like, they didn't put me up on any scholarships. Like, I had to go find all my own scholarships. I had to, you know, there were so many doors that were intentionally closed. Looking back in hindsight, I can't blame Ely. Because Ely is still a great school in a amazing black community. Shout out and love, solidarity to all of my Ely High Tigers. But some of them folks, some of them counselors that were brought in from the other side of town, on the other side of Martin Luther King Boulevard, they did not have our best interests in heart. So that's why I'm kind of split between two ways. Like, I see this so many different ways. Like, I do see it as a teacher because I spent so much time as a teacher, but I also see it as a student who had to fight against the same type of problems that this sister had to fight against. So shout out to her.
Right. And y'all, this was in 2019. So I'm hoping that a lot of backlash that they're calling now, I hope that it's just not now coming out, some of this backlash against her. She's gonna be like, that was 2019. So
that was 3 years ago. 4 years ago.
I'm in college, about to be finished with college at this point. And went through the pandemic. Y'all can kiss my ass. I'm just telling like it is. But I do remember part of this. So, but yeah, this sounds about.
Yeah, no, this is my first time seeing it.
Yeah.
What time? We have time for this last one because Rebecca probably would be mad at me if I don't get this last one in. This Brandy and Whitney singing different notes. Now, I have no idea what is on this video. I'm just reading what's in it. But if it's involving Brandy and it's involving Whitney, one, I know it's going to be fire, but then I know I better play it or else Rebecca is going to be calling all of us shortly. Let's see it. Let's take a look.
Please do that. But the reason why she says, why are you down there? Because I was trying to give her a note that she should hit up there. Because I couldn't hit up there. Oh. I had to sing it for her in an octave lower. And she says, why are you down there? Well, because, darling, I can't go up to where you go.
Because, girl, I can't get up there.
Oh, man. That one's for you, Rebecca. Now, I love Brandy and Whitney Houston. Rest in peace to the Queen, Whitney Houston, of course. Brandy, who's still Sitting Up in My Room album, is still like, you know, it's one of those things. You play that album and it instantly transports me back to when I was living in Mississippi, sitting up in my room, listening to her sing and do her thing. Shout out to her because she's from Macomb, Mississippi, too, if I'm not mistaken. So maybe that's why so much love and memories of Brandy's albums. But anyway, man, that's all I got for tonight. Patreon.com/like it or not. We're getting ready to go to the patron party. If y'all are not already in the waiting room, you should be in the waiting room. I'm getting ready to admit everybody. James, anything you want to say before we get out of here?
Man, love y'all, mean it. Patreon.com/like it or not. Patreon.com/the BPD show. And if you feel like giving now, DJ X3C on Cash App and BPD 2018 for my dog Benjamin. And I'll be a little bit late. Okay, I'll be a little bit late because I gotta switch over computers, but I'll be there.
Do your thing, and I'll see you all in a few minutes. Patreon.com/like it or not is going down.
All right, y'all. Love y'all, mean it. If we don't see you at the patron party, man, we will definitely see you next week, Friday night. Your affirmation for the week coming up. My mind is full of amazing ideas. My mind is full of amazing ideas. Yes, they are. Some good, some bad, but they there. They ideas, ain't they? Anyway, love y'all, mean it. We will see y'all at the patron party. If not, then we'll see y'all next week.
Yeah, that's my man. He's always coming up with the master plan. Politics scheming, not trying to find the meaning of life. Our while the feds keeps us in strife. I'm your DJ. really don't need no introduction right now, but you know what? I stay dropping them jams. Y'all know who I am. Good hope, dad jokes, culture-ish, politics. What you're hearing right now was the culmination of all of this. I started out with the mic in my hand, and I graduated to a plethora of fans. I love bringing joy to the people. It makes me feel great, makes me feel regal. I do what I do for you. 8 p.m. Friday, you know how we do. Let's go. It's time for Like It or Not. With Rebecca Azor. Let's start this damn show. It's time for Like It or Not. With Rebecca Azor. Let's start this damn show. Like it or not, y'all. 2023. Let's start this damn show. Let's go.